Every October 31st, a monster called Sawtooth Jack comes to life in the cornfields of a small town in the Midwest and tries to get to the nearby church. People in the town know they need to stop him before something bad happens, so every year they do something called the Run. All the teenage boys in the town have to go after Sawtooth Jack and kill him before midnight. Afterward, everyone gets to eat the candy that is hidden in his organs. If someone kills Sawtooth Jack, they are seen as a hero and get a house for their family, $25,000, a car, and the chance to leave town, which is normally not allowed. It also blesses the harvest according to them. There will be no girls in the run, and each family can only send one boy. In 1962, some boys wearing masks went on the hunt for the monster. It looks like one of them is standing alone on the road, scared, and not sure what to do next. Suddenly, Sawtooth Jack shows up behind him, and the boy screams as he dies. Soon after, the boys found their friend's body on fire and noticed Sawtooth Jack standing in the middle of the fields. Jim gets mad and starts running after him right away. Just as the monster gets close to the church, Jim catches up to him and beats him to death. Then he takes some candy from Jack's body. The others do the same, and they shout and congratulate Jim's win. Following that, the Harvesters Guild has a Halloween party to celebrate another good run. Jim gets all of his gifts at the party. Richie, his younger brother, asks him to take him with him, but Jim just gives him a hug and says, "I love you," before getting into his brand new car and driving off. Sheriff Jerry comes to the school 5 days before Halloween to tell the teens how important it is to stay on the run. He does this by showing them pictures of the year they didn't kill Sawtooth Jack and the black duster ate their crops. People often use Jim as an example of a hero, which makes Richie mad because he wants to join the run but can't because of the rules. Riley makes fun of him for wanting to help out when the other people don't have a choice. Some of the kids think Sawtooth Jack isn't real and is just an adult dressed up, but Bud is sure he saw him as a child outside his window. Riley also makes fun of him, which leads to a fight that is quickly broken up by adults. As soon as class is over, Riley tries to end the fight by following Richie down the street, so Richie hides in a movie theater. He meets the town newcomer Kelly there. After talking for a while and getting along, she tells Richie she can't go to the Halloween dance because she's black. Richie says he'll change that rule if he wins this year's race. After that, he hangs out with his best friends, Bud and Mitch. Bud and Mitch have heard some bad things about Kelly, but Richie doesn't believe them. His friends also tell him that he's faster than his brother and that he should run, even though it's against the rules. Richie goes home in the evening, and his parents, Dan and Donna, give him a letter from Jim, whom they haven't seen since he won the race. When Richie tells his parents that he's going to join the run no matter what, they get into a fight, and Dan hits his own son. Richie gets even more angry, and he tells his parents they can't stop him. He quickly goes to his room and escapes through the window to smoke with Jim's ex-girlfriend throughout the night. In the cornfields, the farmer walks up to an empty scarecrow stand and starts carving a pumpkin. After climbing the stand, it's no longer empty. Sawtooth Jack is now standing there with the pumpkin for a head. Riley finds Richie the next day and beats him up before taking his belt. The brothers used to wear matching belts, which is a fond memory of Jim. An angry Richie tries to protect himself with a knife, but Riley just hits him again and walks away. Richie gets home and opens the mail to find a letter from his brother. Jim says he's sorry he didn't get in touch with the family sooner and tells Richie that their parents need him, so he shouldn't go on the run. Richie takes a car and leaves town because he is sick of being treated like a child. But as soon as he gets to the main road and crosses the bridge, Jerry gets in the way. Richie tries to get away, but Jerry knocks him out before he can even get out of the car. At night, every parent locks their kids in their rooms so the kids can't run and hide to avoid the run. They begged for food and a bathroom break by hitting the doors and walls, but no one listened. That is how they are supposed to spend 3 days. It's meant to drive them crazy and make them hungry for the run. Once it's Halloween night, the farmer gives Sawtooth Jack some candy and cuts his ropes, making him ready to go. All the young boys in town are finally free, so they can hit the streets and begin the run. Richie wakes up in his bedroom to find Dan telling him about a good job opportunity. Richie refuses to listen and runs away. Dan and Donna both beg him not to leave, but Richie goes anyway. At the same time, Bud, Charlie, and Mitch take a truck to get ahead on the run. There are some boys who say they are cheating, but Mitch quickly scares them away. Richie finally joins them at that point, but the mean group comes back and starts to damage the truck before they can leave. Once more, Mitch keeps them away, and Richie feeds them to keep their attention off of them. Finally, the boys get in their car and drive off. As they were leaving town, they put on masks and saw that the butcher was standing guard with a gun to keep the hungry boys away. Some boys also do the same thing because they think it's unfair. Most of the group is happy when they get to the cornfields, but Bud is scared because he still remembers seeing Sawtooth Jack outside his window. He doesn't want to do this like his friends do. The truck hits something on the road all of a sudden, and Mitch has to stop it so that the car doesn't crash. They get out of the truck to look around, but the road is empty. Then they see candy near the cornfield and start eating it quickly because they think the truck hit Sawtooth Jack and they have already killed him. But a noise makes them turn around, and that's when they see Sawtooth Jack waiting in the middle of the field. Even though the boys run toward him, the monster kills Charlie and Bud in an instant. Mitch also dies when he tries to find the bodies. Sawtooth Jack then looks at Richie and roars at him, making the boy start to run away. After searching for the empty stand, he is shocked to see Kelly there, also breaking the rules. Richie is shocked to see Bud running by too. Apparently, he was just claiming to be dead to get out of this, so he quickly goes back to town. But when he tries to get into his own house, his parents tell him to be a man because they need the money. While Bud was thinking about what to do, Sawtooth Jack suddenly came up behind him. He ran until he found a cover where some boys were hiding. They want real money to let him in, but Bud doesn't have any on him at the moment. The kids start to argue about whether to open the door or not. When they hear a lot of yelling, one of them opens it anyway and finds Sawtooth Jack killing Bud. A little boy screams from a nearby window as he sees Sawtooth Jack kill all the kids inside the shelter, letting a shower of blood come off the door. Richie and Kelly agree to work together, but they say they need better equipment. When they get back to town, they sneak into Jerry's house to take some beer and a gun. While they're there, Richie is shocked to see his dad banging on Jerry's door, like he's scared, but no one answers. He then leaves. Nicole and Richie steal the police car while Dan looks for Jerry in a neighbor's house. When Jerry comes outside to yell at Dan, the kids have already left, so he can only shoot a window. The radio in Richie and Kelly's car tells them that the monster has been seen downtown, so they go there. Teenagers are breaking into stores to steal all the food they can find, which has caused chaos on the main street. The butcher tries to protect his business, and even kills a few boys, but the other boys beat him up and kill him before taking his meat. Richie and Kelly are terrified by what they see, but Riley finds them before they can run away. He makes fun of Kelly for being a girl on the run and calls her skin a slur. Kelly is grabbed by Riley's gang member, but Richie finally gets mad enough to defend himself. He beats both guys up and then points a gun at them. This is also Kelly's chance to hit them with her club, and Richie takes back his belt before they leave. At the same time, the other boys are losing it and are even killing each other. As soon as Sawtooth Jack finds the three of them walking alone, he attacks them again. Richie tells Kelly about the bad things he's heard about her and how he doesn't believe them. Kelly admits that he did burn down an old man's barn because he was a racist jerk. Richie says he misses his brother, and that the only thing they've heard from him is the odd postcard. Kelly tells Richie that her parents are dead. Another report on the radio says that Sawtooth Jack was seen on Oak Street, which cuts them off from their talk. As they head that way, the two don't know that the story is false, and that Jerry is setting up a trap. They find a figure covered in blood on Oak Street before Sawtooth Jack shows up in front of them. Richie rushes to fight the monster, but stops when he sees Jack wearing his brother's belt. When Kelly tries to hit the monster with her club, Sawtooth Jack hits her in the back and runs away while Richie checks on her. At that time, a neighbor comes out and threatens to shoot them if they don't leave. Jerry finds them in the car and points his gun at Richie through the window. He talks badly about Kelly's parents and says he killed them when they were trying to leave town. Kelly gets so mad that she hits him, which makes him shoot his gun. The bullet just misses the side of her head. Quickly, Richie pushes Jerry away, and the two of them get out of the car to run away. Sawtooth Jack goes to Jim's old house and sees all the notes that were written on the wall while Jim was locked in his room for 3 days before the run. The monster shouts and sets the whole place on fire. Dan meets Jerry not far away and tells him he can't do this, but Jerry yells at him and tells him that the town needs to be brave and do what needs to be done because the year they didn't do the routine, he lost a loved one. Dan cries, but he can't fight the police. Soon after, they get to Richie's house, where Donna is clearly not herself because she took too much medicine. Richie starts to ask questions about the past winners, and all of them have the same outcome. They either moved away and haven't talked to their families in a long time, or they died in accidents. Richie starts to think that Donna, not Jim, wrote the notes and the letter. He begs his mom to tell him the truth, but Donna tells her that this has to stop and eliminates herself instead. Richie was right when he thought that she said that the winners aren't living a fancy life. They're being killed so that Sawtooth Jack can come back to their bodies the next year. Richie won't let Kelly leave town because he says he has to stop this. People in downtown are in a panic because of the big fire at Jim's old house. Riley comes up to Jerry and tells him that he saw Sawtooth Jack nearby. Feeling determined to make Riley this year's winner, Jerry pulls him into the car and hands him his gun. Richie and Kelly go to the church to wait for Sawtooth Jack. When they get there, they are shocked to see Dan there. Richie calls his dad a monster during the fight, but Dan swears that no parent will know anything until their son wins. The Jerry and Harvesters Guild then commands them to keep quiet and threatens to kill them if they try to escape or tell anyone. Dan wants Richie to leave so he can fight, but when he hears that his wife has died, he starts to lose it. The church bell starts to ring, and Sawtooth Jack walks out into the open. Richie runs to greet him and calls him Jim, which shows that he doesn't mean any harm. Sadly, Riley shows up and shoots the monster, so Kelly runs to hit him while Richie holds Jack close. As Jerry joins in, Riley is forced to try again, but after the second shot, Richie uses his own gun to keep Riley away. Sawtooth Jack grabs Richie's hand and turns it around as a plea to end his pain, which shocks Richie. For his part, Richie says sorry to his brother and then pulls the trigger. The boys run to get the candy, and Jerry tells him how great he did, but Richie doesn't feel anything. Later at the party, Richie is still not in a good mood and doesn't care about how happy everyone else is. But when he sees Kelly come in, he dances with her and kisses her, not caring that racists are staring at them because they are a mixed-race pair. He agrees to run away with Kelly later, and she gives him a gun in secret. Although Jim's ex-girlfriend asks him to take her with him, Richie drives off in his brand new car without answering. While Richie drives off, Dan walks up to Jerry and tries to kill him to get back at him, but Jerry stops him. Soon after, Richie picks up Kelly, and the two of them drive out of town. Soon, Jerry shows up in the police car and starts chasing them. Richie tries to speed up, but his car almost hits another car on the road, so he has to stop. Richie tells Kelly to hide, and when he gets out of the car, Jerry points a gun at him and makes him walk into the cornfields. When they get to the empty stand, Richie turns around quickly and kills Jerry with 2 shots. I'm afraid this isn't over yet. When the farmer comes, he hits Richie on the head and makes him fall into the hole he dug. Richie pulls out his knife and begs the farmer to stop, but he breaks his hand and starts burying him alive. When the farmer is done, he walks away, showing that he was in the car that stopped Richie's. Dan finds Kelly when she finally comes out of hiding and tells her to leave town while she still has the chance. Kelly runs away without being stopped again while she is crying in pain. After a year, the farmer digs up Richie's body and gets the pumpkin ready. The pumpkin slowly turns into the boy's new Sawtooth Jack head. Dan frees the monster on Halloween night, still calling him Richie. Dan kills the farmer when he shows up, and then tells his monster son to set the town on fire. Subscribe. For more videos like this, turn on the notification and leave a like to help the channel out. Thanks for watching.